All right, here we are. My name is William Carter. I'm 52. Today is May 27th, 2019. I'm here with my mom, Pauline Denney, and we are in Austin, Texas. How old are you, Mom?
Oh, you hurt me. 75.
75. All right. All right. What year and where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in 1943. I grew up in California, mostly the Southern California area.
And where were you born?
Suffolk, England.
And you came over to the United States when you were how old?
A little over 2.
What was that like?
I don't remember.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't remember any of it.
But what have you been told about it?
What I've been told about it is we came over on the ship. We got in one of the ports.
Do you remember what ship it was?
I have it written down, yes, but I don't recall it right now. But,
And it was just you and Grandma?
Just me and Grandma. Grandma was in the sick bay most of the time, so I was kind of separated from her.
Yeah.
So I was kind of looked after by some of the nurses that were in the sick bay.
Mm-hmm.
And we landed in New York City.
And so what happened when you got to New York?
We got on a train and went across the states to California.
Immediately, or did you stay in New York for?
I don't know.
And again, it was just the two of y'all?
Mm-hmm.
What was Grandma ill from?
Seasickness.
Oh, okay.
Ocean.
Huh. And then you landed in L.A.?
We landed in New York, and then we took a train over.
I mean, from the train.
The train took us into the California area.
And then what happened there?
Apparently, Dad met us there.
Clay Connor.
Mm-hmm.
And what year was that? That was 45?
45, 46.
Okay. And so the war had ended. World War II had ended at the time. So
he was still military at that time.
But he wasn't based overseas anymore, so he was living in California the full time.
I think more than him being there, I think his mother was there. And we went to stay with Grandma Effie.
Oh, Grandma the trailer. And so that was in the Van Nuys area?
It was North Hollywood.
North Hollywood?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, what are some of your earliest memories of your parents and siblings?
Oh, dear. Me torturing my sister.
Who's your sister?
Linda Connor Rinkowski.
Okay.
And I would tease her verbally more than anything.
How so?
Calling her names like Linda Donut, making her cry. Little things are so satisfying.
Linda Donut. I gotta call her that next time I see her. Would she remember it?
I don't know. She was probably only about 5.
And how old are you?
Well, I'm 5 years old. I must have been about 9 or 10.
Linda Donut Rinkowski Connor. All right, what about your parents?
Earliest moments, Dad having a big garden when we lived over in Arleta, California.
Is that the same garden that grew up and with the bar in the back? Yeah. What was Wingo Street? Is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah. It's Pacoima, Arleta. It was Pacoima, and they changed it to Arleta.
And so do you remember how old you were when you moved there? Was it immediately after?
No, we stayed with Grandma in the trailer for Grandma over on Bel Air Avenue for a long while.
Like years?
It was quite a while because Linda was born over that way.
While you were staying with
Dave was born when we were over that way.
While you were staying with Grandma in the trailer?
Well, she had a house.
Oh, okay.
And she had some acreage. And it had a little bit of a little small one-room type unit. Didn't have a bathroom, apartment kind of thing. And that's Dad redid it, and we stayed there. And then a house down the way.
What do you mean it didn't have a bathroom?
Didn't have a bathroom. We used a peapot.
You're kidding me.
No. And then there was a little chicken coop down the way from that house, probably 3 doors down. And Dad went and renovated it. And we lived there.
In the chicken coop?
Yeah, he completely renovated it into a house, yes.
Huh. And how far away was this from Wingo Street?
From Wingo?
Yeah.
Oh, probably 12, 14 miles.
And then after how long did you live there?
And Wingo?
No, but the chicken coop.
It was a renovated building, which happened to have been a chicken coop at one time.
Huh. My mom grew up in a chicken coop. That explains a lot. All right, so wait, how long did you live there? Before you moved to Wingo Street?
David and Linda were probably 5 and 6.
Okay.
And then we moved over to Wingo and Pacoima.
And Grandpa Connor, they bought that house on Wingo Street.
Yeah,
all right.
He was in construction.
And how long do you think he owned it?
Well, he passed away
in 76, right?
Yeah,
but
when he passed away, and then, Mom kept it for several years, and then she sold it.
81, right? 80 something.
I don't know exactly what year it was. I know that she moved in with us.
Right, in the 80s, because I was in. No, it's before I was in high school. She moved in with us in Diamond Bar. But anyway, so how long do you think they owned the house on Wingo Street?
Probably 16, 18 years.
Okay. So you basically, that's your childhood memory on that.
That's where I went through elementary school and junior high.
Right.
And high school.
Did you ever get in trouble when you were a child?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Very seldom. I was such a goody two-shoes.
Yeah. Except for beating up on your little sister.
Let's see. Did I get in trouble? I remember getting in trouble one time when high school, and a group of us went to a drive-in where it was like a Bob's Big Boy type thing.
Oh, okay.
And had some ice in a cup, and some of the guys were in another vehicle next to us, and they were taunting us, and I threw it at them. We were kicked out of the drive-in. That's how bad I was, really, really bad.
You got kicked out of an A&W root beer drive-through. Big boy drive-through. Yeah. A skate hop. What is it? Car hop.
Thing I did.
That's the worst thing you can remember?
Yeah, I was.
Really?
I was not real bad.
So you didn't do. Okay, so what are some of the worst things that you remember your children doing?
Caroline driving a car and banging into somebody else.
I remember that.
Calling us on the phone and saying,
Diamond Bar.
I'll pay for the man's wheel. I'll pay for it. And she did.
Okay.
Let's see. A couple of vehicle collisions. Tom, for one, when he had all those people, the kids in the car,
right.
and they were coming home from a skating rink. And it was a little teeny car, probably a four people car, and he had 7 people in there. And he was showing off and ran into right through a telephone pole.
Yeah.
And a bus bench. And one of the young men did get a broken arm out of it. And then let's see, you had a couple of VWs that ended up crashed and broken.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, we didn't have a real bad time with you guys.
So, when you think back about your childhood and your upbringing, are they mostly positive or negative memories?
Positive.
Positive?
Yeah.
Like how so? What do you mean? Like,
we didn't have any real turmoil. We didn't have any yelling and screaming or that kind of thing. It was pretty even keel.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me the names of your parents and where they were born.
Mary Elizabeth Bradley, my mother. She was born also in England, right in the same vicinity that I was born in.
What year was she born?
1925.
Okay.
And then Clay Jess Connor.
Clay what?
Clay Jess Connor. Jess.
His middle name is Jess?
His first name is Jess.
Oh.
And he took it on as his middle name when he went in the service.
And
his real name was Jess, but they always called him Clay.
What does it say on his birth certificate?
It says
Jess
Clay Connor, yeah.
Jess Clay Connor. Did not know that. And where was he born? What year?
Born in Missouri in 1919.
In Missouri? In 1919. Okay. And briefly on both of them, Grandma grew up where and she lived where most of her life?
She lived most of her life in California. And then...
After she brought you over?
Yeah, when she brought me over. And then she came out to Texas probably the last 30 years of her life. She lived in Texas.
Okay. And Clay, Grandpa?
He was, after he got out of service, he settled in California. And that's where he died.
What year did they both die?
He died in 1976, and she died in 2018.
Not even a year ago, right?
Yeah.
August 2018? What was that like for you?
With both of them gone?
Well, having to deal with Grandma last year.
Oh, it was hard the last year because she had lost her zeal for living. She didn't want to live anymore. Probably for the last 7 or 8 months. But she would keep saying that, and yet she would still want to do things, you know. Well, let's do this, or let's go to the grocery store. And, well, if you don't want to live, you don't want to go buy groceries. And, you know, things didn't make a lot of sense. But then again, she was 93.
Yeah. And how would you describe the relationships with your mother and you and your father?
I don't remember that much with Dad. A relationship other than he had 2 other kids that were really his children.
What do you mean?
I was just the older sibling.
And you were just the older sibling?
Mm-hmm. And then with Mom, I probably would say the last 6 to 7 years, I was more or less her caregiver.
Yeah.
And I was probably over there 3 or 4, maybe even 5 days a week sometimes.
What was your relationship with her like when you were living at her house when you were a kid?
Sometimes I felt like I couldn't live up to what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
Because she was kind of a into herself person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What would you like to have said to your parents that you never were able to?
Probably would dive into the genealogy more with Mom.
Yeah.
But for some reason, it always held me back, whether she would ignore what I would ask, or she would just go on and like I didn't say anything. And I felt I could probably never get a straight answer from her anyhow.
Mm-hmm. What about Grandpa?
I don't remember that much other than he liked to drink. was kind of a happy soul. He played the harmonica, and he loved his garden and his being out of doors. He owned his own company for a while, a construction company for a while.
Can you think of anything that you would like to have said to him that you were never able to?
Not really, no.
It sounds like you didn't have a very, you don't talk much about your relationship with him.
I don't remember that much of a relationship with him. It was just, I grew up and this is the way you lived, you know. You don't know any different. I think everybody lives that way.
Okay. Describe one of your happiest memories.
Probably when I had my kids. That was exciting. Being able to have little babies and pets.
So we were like Cocker Spaniels to you? Little red-headed Cocker Spaniels?
Not quite.
Not quite. We were more potty trained.
After a while.
All right. So what was one of your most difficult memories?
Of raising the kids or
in general, in your whole life?
Probably
raising Cocker Spaniels.
No, I was pretty good at being able to cope with little guys.
Okay.
Probably the divorce, the unknown. I'm not really good at not having a plan of action and going through with it.
So you were married twice, right?
Yes.
To whom?
My first husband was Thomas Carson Carter,
and
we got married when I was 19. And my second husband was Larry J. Denney.
What year were those marriages?
Oh, you're asking me hard questions. I don't have my papers.
I don't know them.
You know, I'm really bad about the dates on this kind of stuff. Let's see, I have to always go backwards. Graduated from high school in 61, got married in 62.
Okay.
Tom.
In 60.
And 63.
Carolina 65 and me in 66. All right. And how long did that marriage last?
Almost 8 years.
8 years. Okay. And what was the beginning of that relationship like with your first husband?
Oh dear. Kind of adventuresome because he was kind of a nomad, and we moved around quite a bit, and he had little odd jobs, and he liked to, he was a thinker.
What do you mean by thinker?
He could read a calculus book as an entertainment. He would just read it like you would a novel.
That's interesting. And what was your what was the divorce like?
It was sad. I felt like I was the person taking his children away, and he probably wanted to try to remedy a lot of things by saying things like, why don't we get a duplex and you can live on one side with the kids and I'll be right next door, and I can, or live in the same house and you can have one bedroom and I'll take the other bedroom and the kids will live with us, and things like that.
And you filed for the divorce. What led to that?
Because he was more of an atheist, and he was putting it on your kids, and I just couldn't go that route.
Putting it on your kids, what does that mean?
In other words, this is the way he was training them.
Oh. So he was trying to teach us to be atheists, and you didn't like that?
I didn't like that.
And that's what led you to divorce him?
Most part, yeah.
You know I'm an atheist, right? How does that
I'm
make
not
you?
going to marry you.
So, wait, so what what did you have against him being an atheist?
I didn't like the way he was teaching our children that there was nothing, no hope, no. It was just, you're here and this is the end of it.
And how would you describe your religion? Religious
Not
beliefs?
an atheist.
Not an atheist.
No.
How would you describe your religious beliefs?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that.
So I'm wondering what else was behind what else was behind you leading to divorcing him, besides his religious beliefs?
I don't know how to answer that. I don't know. It just wasn't there anymore.
You feel like you fell out of love with him?
Well, I don't know how much in love I was with him to begin with.
Oh.
You know, it was just, you're 19 years old and you get married. Okay.
Because that's what you thought you were supposed to do? And so you were proposed to twice?
I don't remember ever being proposed to at all. It was just kind of like, you assumed it was going to happen and you just did it.
So do you remember having discussions with either husband about getting married?
Well, we must have had some because in the first one I did have a wedding.
Okay.
And the second one we went down to LA courthouse.
Yeah.
And took 3 kids with us.
Who caught the bouquet? Did you have friends at those weddings or the first wedding?
No, it's the first wedding we did.
And what were some of your friends' names that you remember growing up with? Or
it's so long ago. I don't remember because this was a church we were affiliated with, and
how many people do you think attended that first wedding?
Probably 100.
And describe your first kiss. And who was it with?
That I don't remember.
Do you remember who it was with?
Nope. No, I don't. Must have been real impressive.
Wait, so how old do you think you were?
I don't even remember the kiss, let alone how old I was.
Do you think you were like 16 or 20 or, I mean...
If I got married at 18,
Do you think your first kiss was with your first husband?
No.
No. So how many boyfriends do you think you had in high school?
2.
2. Were either of them your first husband?
No.
No.
He didn't go to school with me.
And what were those relationships like? Who were they with?
One of them I thought for sure that we were going to get married.
Yeah. What was his name?
Joseph Paravano.
Paravano?
Italian.
Italiano? Okay. And how long were you boyfriend and girl with him?
2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
And you were in high school at the time?
I was in high school at one school and he was at another high school.
How far apart were they?
Well, we lived real close. We lived right around the block from each other.
Oh, I see. And that's how you met him?
Through church.
Oh, through church. And what led to that breakup?
Distance. He and his parents moved to Modesto.
All right, so 2 of your granddaughters are about to get married. Are you aware of that?
Oh, yes. Finally.
Oh, finally, huh? What marital advice would you give them if they asked?
Don't forget that the other person is a person with opinions and likes and dislikes. It's not all your way. It's not all only your way is the right way.
And would you say that to both granddaughters, Alicia and Robin, or do you have separate advice for either of them?
Both of them I would tell them about the same thing because I think both of them have the idea that whatever they want, they're going to be getting. And that's not true, because that's the way the world works.
And you say it that way because is that your experience with your marriages or your upbringing?
You
or
just look back and you think, if you're just more patient and you just see the big picture instead of what I want, and take the I out of it, it should be what we want.
How has your life been different than you imagined?
Well, I think I've had a great life, really. And how would I wanted it different?
How has your life been different than you imagined it would be?
I don't think I put a dream there and said this is the way it's going to be, because it's like you go with the flow, and everything changes from day to day.
Yeah. All right. Describe your perfect day in your childhood.
Oh dear, in my childhood. I don't think there is a perfect day. No, I don't know.
So how would you describe a day that you thoroughly enjoyed in your childhood? I mean, what was an ideal day for you like? I don't remember that much of my childhood, really. All right, so how about in your current life?
What's my perfect day?
Well, what's an ideal day for you in your current life?
Oh, I get to sew. I get to give things away.
Yeah.
I go out to lunch with my friends. Just being social, being creative.
Yeah. And what are you most grateful for?
Probably that we have been as fortunate as we are financially, that we've been able to buy a house and call it our own. We've been able to buy vehicles that we wanted. Glad that the kids are as healthy as they are. We are.
And what are you most proud of?
Probably my kids.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How so?
I think that they have succeeded and pretty much done what they've wanted to do.
I'll say. Yeah.
They don't have to have a handout, be the one that says I want and ask for it and expect to get it.
And that's what you're most proud of?
Mm-hmm.
That's quite lovely. I like that. Okay, so a couple more questions. How do you imagine the last 5 or 10 years of your life is going to be like?
Hopefully not full of fear. You age, and you know that you lose ability to do things. I'm just hoping that I'm be able to accept it for what it is, that this is just normal life. What do I expect out of it? I expect to have lots of grandkids, great grandkids. They can take care of me.
You already have lots of grandkids. Are they taking care of you?
Well, I don't know about that.
You don't need it quite yet, do you? Where do you think you'll be in the last 5 or 10 years of your life?
Probably still in Texas somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably around my kids.
Yeah. All right. Where do you want to be buried?
I guess it really doesn't matter. We've bought plots, but it really doesn't matter. Once you're gone, you're gone.
Where are those plots?
In Buchanan area, or Burnett area.
How many plots do you have?
4.
4. When did you buy them?
Probably about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. What can be done with those plots if you don't use all 4 of them?
Sell them.
You sell them. Who's going to sell them?
Whoever wants to sell them.
Would you like to sell them right now?
What for?
Because you may not need all 4 of them.
Well, it doesn't make any difference. They're still there and available for somebody.
How much were they?
Oh, golly. I think I got 4 of them for $1,200 or something.
Oh, my.
Yeah, a real bargain.
Yeah. Did you have a coupon?
I must have to buy 4.
Buy 1, get 3 free. All right. So, would you like there to be a funeral after your death?
I don't think so. I have not thought about that. But I guess it's like everybody else. You think, well, what if nobody comes? All this food and nobody's here to eat it.
I don't think that'll hurt your feelings. You'll be buried somewhere in four plots.
No, you can have a party.
All right. How would you like to be remembered?
As somebody that's giving, concerned, somebody that's considerate of others' feelings, somebody that wants to help.
Yeah. All right. One last question, Mom. What would you like your great-great-grandchildren to know about you and your life?
My great-great-grands, huh? Well, it's getting pretty close. I've got 1 great already. That she loved her kids. She loved her family.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Your kids know that. You know that?
I hope so.
All right. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think you wrapped it up. And that's a take.
And that's a take. All right. Well done, Mom.